tell you about some things you might not have thought about. As we get a little older and we retire, like I am and my friends, never think about the scams in life. You ever think that? When I say scams, you think of people, other people, than your relatives. You got to think about your relatives, because you'd be surprised at how many of them will scam you as long as they can. A friend of mine, my wife and I, we spent some time with, dinner, parks, rides, and he was telling me he had a son. He has a son, lives in another state up north, and his son gave him a phone call one night last month, told him that he's going to have to have about $3,500. Well, my friend asked him, said, "That's an awful price. What do you want that for?" And he said, "Well," said, "his company made him take a physical every year, and said the doctor found something in his liver that just wasn't right. So they're making him take some tests on his liver, and the hospital wants $3,500 before they can do it." And he was giving this son money every month, it seemed like, 50, 100, 200 here, there, and he got to thinking about it. And he called his son the next day and told him, he said, "I'm going to give you the money." He said, "But there's going to be one stipulation. I've got to write the check to the hospital myself. That way I can get this money back when IRS time comes around." Well, his son said, "Okay." They hung up, and wouldn't you know, a miracle happened. His son called him the next day. He said his insurance company decided that they would pay for it. They had made a mistake, and that they would pay the $3,500. And he said, "Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad you got that taken care of, son." And they went on and finished their conversation. He told me, he said, "Be careful of your relatives." He said, "Your close relatives, too, because you never know." I told him, well, that my 3 children had a life pretty well made out for themselves, and they made it themselves. I got one's getting ready to retire here for long, and we'll be able to spend some more time together. But I want to tell you all, be careful. Strangers are not the only scammers out there. A lot of times they're closer to you than you think. That's the way it looks from here. I'm Russell.